Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Samp and Chance Boxing. I am your host, Bobby Sampson. As you can see, it's not Mr. Chance Michael sitting beside me. We have contender, future world champion, Mr. Lucus Bahdi joining us on the show, coming off an amazing victory a couple of weeks ago on the MVP card in Orlando, beating former world champion Roger Gutierrez, 12-round decision. Lucas, thank you so much for joining us on the show. It's a pleasure. It's an honor to highlight a fellow Canadian. How are you, bro?
Good. Thanks for having me, Bobby.
Oh, thank you for taking the time out of your schedule and finding the time to join us, man. It means a lot. It's an honor and a privilege. Lucas, I start with everything a little. I try to do things a little different. So, it's not the typical question of like, tell us about yourself. So I'm going to ask you it this way. Who is Lucas Bahdi?
Who is Lucas Bahdi?
Who is Lucas Bahdi?
He's a lightweight boxer, a family man. Uh, yeah, a guy that just enjoys life.
That's awesome, man. I can tell by your smile that you're really happy and content in the place that you're in right now. Lucas, tell me, did boxing find you or did you find boxing?
Good question. I think I think boxing found me. I
Okay.
think boxing found me. I mean, I always wanted to learn how to fight. That was just I was just instilled in me. I was born that way. I just loved the competition. And yeah, I always asked my dad to bring me to the boxing gym, bring me to the boxing gym. And it wasn't until I was about 13 or 14 is when I really started boxing. But
Okay.
yeah, I guess it found me.
Awesome, awesome. How did it find you though? Was it something you saw on television? Like what was that trigger for you? Do you remember? Like,
Um, hmm, you know what? I just knew that there was there was there was there was guys I knew that were boxing, and they were really good fighters, and that was it. That was I wanted to be a good fighter. I wanted to be the toughest guy on the playground.
fair enough, fair enough. So on the playground, did you show your skills, or were you more just waiting till we got into the training, or have you just been that guy?
Once I actually started boxing, I didn't fight it. I didn't fight outside of boxing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
I was
100%.
before I started. I was always looking for a fight, whether I was playing, any sport. I was looking for a fight. Once I started boxing, that kind of went away.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So was boxing always the one, or were there other disciplines that you were looking at? Or, like I know just based on the time frame of your career and you growing up and stuff, MMA was very, very, prominent at the time with GSP and whatnot. Did any of that play an influence, or was it always boxing for you?
Just boxing.
Just boxing, eh? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So you're three-time national Canadian champion. Congratulations. The Olympic dream didn't happen. Just out of curiosity, want to indulge too much on it. What happened with the Olympic program, if you don't mind talking about it?
Uh, due to politics, I won't mention any
Yeah,
names. Daniel Trepanier,
yeah.
the coach there,
Hmm.
he, he wasn't a good guy. And it wasn't fair to the athletes.
Okay. So in that, I almost like to think, okay, you had a pretty stellar amateur career, three-time champion, national champion. I almost get the sense, and correct me if I'm wrong, was this the first time that you kind of felt some kind of roadblocks in your career with the Olympic program? And if so, what did you do to motivate yourself to get past that? I think that's the important question here. Not so much what happened there, but what you used out of that situation to create what we see here today. Because I figure everything we ever do, good or bad, leads up to the moment that we're in right now. So, taking that experience, not having it work out the way you were hoping with the accolades and everything else, what did Lucas do to kind of, motivate himself to take himself to the next level?
Well, you know what? It was always, you know, part of my plans to turn professional.
Sure,
I did want the Olympic background
sure.
beforehand, just to give me that boost, that quick start to the pro game. But you know what? It's just mindset. It gave me the right mindset. Things don't go your way. You just got to keep pushing forward, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And your family, how much of an influence did they have in your decision making and keeping you on the right track? Were there moments where you felt like, okay, I'm getting tired of this? Like we got to keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that when you take this path, you're giving up a lot. You're giving up nights out at the club. You're giving nights out with your friends. So what kept you going in that time? Because summer in Niagara Falls is a blast, man. I mean,
Yeah, you know what? I just always had that very strong mindset and determination. I'm very determined. If I want something, I'll work as hard as I can. I'll do anything, in my control to accomplish it.
mhm.
It's not that like someone really swayed me one way or the other way. I'm just a guy that once I got my mind set on it, I'm 100% in.
That's awesome, brother, man. I'd like to take you back to May 19th, 2019, I believe, your very first professional fight against Luis Jan Rivera. Um, how was that experience? What were the nerves like? Your first professional bout, your first time, like this is for real now. How did that come about and how did you feel going in and how did you feel after?
I was so nervous going into that fight, just because of the small gloves. Like the first time I put on a pro glove, I just couldn't believe how hard they were compared
Hmm.
to compared to an amateur glove. And yeah, just knowing that guy is wearing the same gloves as me was just like, holy man, it was uh, it was something different, right? But yeah, I was extremely nervous going into the fight, and I was very tense in the ring.
Hmm.
But I learned a lot. I learned a lot from my pro debut, that's for sure. And I did get the second round knockout. It was actually a really nice knockout, but I wasn't using my left hand at all that fight. I was just trying to kill him with the right hand.
Right, right. And
But
that seems to be your weapon of choice.
yeah, yeah, I wasn't boxing. That's for sure. I was just head hunting, and it wasn't until the second round I settled down a little bit, and that's when I got the knockout.
And the experience of that led to becoming more comfortable with the craft, I guess, right, as you progress further here as we go along. So we talk about being nervous. We talked about, oh my god, these gloves, the way they feel, they're smaller. What was it like? And I always like to ask this question because I would not know. What was it like to be hit for the first time with those gloves?
Being hit by the first time,
Yeah, like in a professional fight, your first professional fight, you got hit with the smaller gloves. What did that feel like? How did that register in your mind? And what was your takeaway? I know it's a pretty heavy question.
yeah, I remember the first time I really got cracked with it. All that I could think was, "Oh man, I'm in a real fight. I'm
Yeah.
in a real fight." Like,
Mhm.
and yeah, I was like, "All right, it's time to bite down on the mouthpiece and go to war."
Right,
It was
right, right,
it was kind of like a fight or flight,
right. Now,
and I
when
I I, I chose to fight, of course.
fair play, fair play. So when that all happens and everything, does that change your style of training or how you look at the gym going forward after that? Like, how much changes, from fight to fight, let's say, even, from do you feel that you come out of even like you're 20-0, brother, man, 15 by knockout, 5 by decision. So, your record speaks for itself. The one thing I did notice about your record, which was really interesting, outside of Sylvia, you fought all Latin fighters, right? Everyone you fought is of Latin descent, outside of H2O. Was that by design or is just the way it worked out?
Well, it all comes down to who's willing to fight
Okay.
and budget,
Hmm.
right? That's the way it goes in the professional ranks. Is like one guy's willing to fight you for X amount, and a Canadian or an American, they're willing to fight, but they want 10 times the amount. So that's where the business side, comes into play.
Hmm.
Is yeah, it's more based around budget for the promoters for sure.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so before we get to the fight that everybody knows predominantly about, you won your first championship, the IBF North American title on May 21st, 2023, beating one Jesus Apperman. How was that fight, man, going into it?
Amperan fight.
Yeah, that the year where you won the IBF and you knocked him out in the ninth with that right.
That was a great fight for me, as far as progression
Hmm.
and to kind of know where I stand based on how other prospects did against him, and he was a puncher doing the 10 round or 9 rounds, but really keeping the focus during the 9 rounds. And I was laser focused that fight, and I knew I had to be because that kid was a very good puncher.
Hmm. And you were at home too.
Sorry.
You were at home as well. It was a you were fighting in front of your friends and family at home.
Yeah, yeah, hometown fight. Um, it went amazing. As far as my performance, I performed very well. I stuck to the game plan, and yeah, the the best part about my performance was my focus.
That's awesome, man. And
And I ended up getting the job done. I finished them obviously in the 9.
yes, sir.
We couldn't ask for anything better because I got 9 rounds in the bag, got the knockout, and it was just a great experience overall.
That's awesome. So let's just move right up to the fight that everybody got to know you from. Now here in Canada, I talked to you on the phone. I've been following your career for a while, so I already knew who you were before you went into this fight. But the late H2O fight, did you ever in your wildest dreams expect it to blow up the way it did for you?
Yeah, I did. I did because I knew what kind of stage it was on. I knew how good he was, and that was my American debut. That was like the get to know me party, and I was very shocked when I actually got the call for the offer on that fight, because I never would have thought they would have called me. I just I never ever would have thought it was the last. I thought I would be the last person they'd call, but we're not that known in Canada. Not many people really know about us. We don't get the exposure like the American fighters or the UK fighters, and I think that's kind of what happened, and what played against them, right? Because they didn't know much about me. They knew obviously I had a good record. I haven't fought anyone very like high level, and they thought it was going to be a walk in the park,
Okay.
and I spoiled their party. I knocked them out badly, and I really hurt his career. That's for sure. Um, but I took the fight knowing I was going to do that, and knowing that it was going to give me massive opportunity. It was going to get my name out there, and big things were going to come following that fight.
Yeah, when we look at the build up to the fight, it was all about Sylvie. It was all about Sylvie. You were just the guy. And I mean that with complete respect, brother. You know what I mean? Just the way they were promoting the fight, the way they were doing it. And even throughout the fight, listening to it, Sylvie this, Sylvie this, Sylvie this. And do you feel, though, to be completely fair, like you were on the other side of the judges' cards until that knockout? Do you feel you were having your best performance up until that knockout? Is that a fair question?
No, actually, I was having an awful performance
Okay.
outside of the knockout.
Yeah.
Um, I was just trying to push the action too much. I was like really because I knew I was the only chance I got of beating this guy. I wasn't going to beat him on the scorecards. They were going to rip me off even if I did beat him.
Hmm.
I knew I really had to knock this kid out. So I
Okay.
was really trying to force the issue, trying to force the action, and I was just walking in counters. I wasn't like fighting smart. I was just
Sure.
fighting. Let's go get this kid. Let's go get this kid. Like, and I took at all his best shots. Um, and I knew it was second half I was going to get him. But if I were to go back in time, I think I would have been a little more methodical early on in that fight. Maybe not. I would have took less punches. That's for sure.
No, for
And I
sure, for sure.
yeah, but I was so like so eager to just get to him.
Right.
And he's a fantastic boxer, and he was catching me on counter punches and everything like that.
Okay, okay, fantastic. So when all that happened, then the whirlwind started. Everything started happening. When you go back to the gym to kind of settle down, what did you take away from that fight in terms of what you need to work on and to become better? Is it hard? I guess a two-part, like what did you have to focus on and what did you focus on? And when you are undefeated, what do you look at in terms of improvement? Or do you just take the fight at hand and see what you can do better next time and what you need to do better?
There was a ton of learning experiences from that fight. I mean, not to note, it was my first time fighting on a big stage like that. It was a full house of 17,000 people there. I'm used to fighting, in front of 1,000 people back then. It was something new for me, right?
Yeah,
Um, all the cameras following you around all week, you know, that was new. That
yeah,
was new for me. I wasn't used to it. But yeah, just there was so much, obviously, technically and tactically that I learned from the fight. That I mean, if you watch the fights after that, every single fight, I'm progressing, I'm getting better,
absolutely.
gaining more experience, and that's what these fights are for.
No, 100%. All right. That being said, and that was amazing. Knockout of the year. Fantastic. Congratulations on all of it. You had two more fights after that. Then you just recently fought former world champion Roger Gutierrez, your first 12-round fight as well. How did you feel going into the 11th and 12th? To be honest, just from a visual, it looked like you were a little bit tired. But is that the case, or was it just like, because that's a new experience as well. You've not done 12 yet at that point. So how was that mindset going into it? You had a beautiful fight, man. Absolutely.
You know what? It was yeah, new territory for me again. But usually, I don't think I was like that fatigued in the fight.
Sure.
Um, because I wasn't counting the rounds as I was going. Like
Right.
sometimes, I'll look, I'll be like, what round is it? What round is it? I wasn't I wasn't keeping track of the rounds. So it went by, you know, I wouldn't say quick, but I wasn't like eager to find out, oh man, what round is it? I'm dead tired. I was just listening to my coach, trying to take in everything he says.
Hmm.
And because I trust everything he says, it's right. So I've tried to just really focus on him while I'm in the corner.
Right.
Um, yeah, and like I said, I wasn't really paying attention to what round it was. When I realized it was like the 11th, 12th round, I still had gas in the tank, so I wasn't worried.
And you had the 110-8 round as well. You got him down there. Talk me through that moment, man. When you finally got him down, does that change the game plan, or did you stay disciplined and stick to what you knew you had to do to carry on? And Roger, was he, former world champion? Would you say he was the toughest you've been in the ring with?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I knew he was going to be a really tough opponent, a really tough guy to knock out. Um, honestly, after I knocked him out, that round I knocked him. Sorry, after
Knock
I
him
knocked
down.
him down, the
Yeah,
round I knocked him down in, he was having a good round.
absolutely.
He was starting to open up.
Yeah.
And that's what I needed him to do to get the knockdown. I needed him to open up.
Hmm.
That's why I got him. After that, he was he was a little more hesitant. I don't know if that's the right word, but he didn't come at me the way he was.
Right.
And he's a vet. He's a veteran in the game. He knows how to survive. He played it, I want to say, on the safe side, and that's why I couldn't get that finish like I wanted to.
Sure.
He was more in just kind of a survival mode.
That's
But
awesome, man.
yeah, he's a great fighter nonetheless, um, and he can definitely punch. That's for sure.
That's beautiful, man. And the one beautiful thing that I like to say is that we're watching you grow as a boxer with every fight, which is just an amazing thing. You know what I mean? A lot of times we hear about boxers, but we don't get to see a lot of their back end of their career. Where, for me especially, and for a lot of us in Canada who are huge boxing fans, we're watching you grow up in the sport, man. What's the support like for you in terms of fans and people? Um, how is that? How's that to navigate with everything now?
Like the support I have is amazing.
Yeah,
My family, my friends, my fans. I had a lot of people come out to Florida to watch me. I definitely got tons of support, and especially in Niagara Falls.
that's beautiful. Speaking of Niagara Falls, talk to me about Fall Boys promotion, man. What's it all about, and what are you guys up to?
I mean, that's a company I started, and I was promoting my own fights early on in my career. Now I'm not active with it, but um, yeah, I funded my whole career and promoted my first like 11 fights or so, and that was basically just to get some eyes on me from the U.S. promoters, building myself up.
Awesome, awesome. Now, speaking of promoters, your current promoter, Mr. Jake Paul, the Enigma himself. What's he like as a promoter, as a person? Is he what he is on camera, or is he, you know, a little softer behind the scenes?
I mean, as a person, he's a great person.
Awesome.
He's a really really nice guy, and there's a lot of things, you know, they don't talk about. But Jake, he's really really good to his community. He's really good to people around him. Um, I mean, he builds gyms in Puerto Rico. The guy basically paid for Ben Askren's surgery.
I was just going to talk about that.
Like,
Yeah, yeah.
a lot of he doesn't get a lot of credit for the good he does. People just want to talk about the bad and you know this and that.
Yeah.
Or blah blah blah. But Jake's a really really good person.
No, and and I've always maintained that, right? I've always said that Jake Paul, the humanitarian Jake Paul, the promoter Jake Paul, you can't question. I think a lot of people have issue and take issue with his choices of who he wants to compete against, which is a different ball of wax completely. But who can fault a man if it's working, it's working. For example, I look at that Misfits boxing. I'm not, as a boxing purist, it's not really my style or something to watch. But man, I realize these guys are getting, like huge million plus buys for their cards. So, I mean, the casual fan, they're bringing in the people. So, man, who can argue with that, right? I mean, if we want the sport to grow and keep going, I guess we got to find the other ways to let the new fans in and show them what's what, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, no matter what you do, there's going to be critics out there. But as an entertainer, he's one of the most entertaining guys out there right now.
Yeah, yeah.
And numbers don't lie.
That's
so people could say what they want, but Jake's going to keep doing what he does. He's going to keep building those numbers.
That's awesome.
And as a promoter, I couldn't ask for a better promoter.
No, absolutely. And now being a promoter yourself, having, dabbled into it, obviously for your fights in the beginning, how do you feel about him taking over the women's all the women's divisions. Like it's something that Matchroom, Queensberry, Top Rank, PBC, they've all kind of just let it go, and he's picked them all up. How do you feel about that, man?
It was an untapped market. No one took advantage of it, and Jake is growing the female boxing like no tomorrow. I mean, he's signed basically almost every champion, 90% of the champions, and he's giving a lot of females big opportunity that they normally wouldn't have got.
Right. Now, again, this is just your own personal opinion. Do you feel Clarissa Shields is making a mistake by not signing with him? Because do you think she can have the opportunity that she's looking for on the train that she's on? Or do you think she needs someone like Jake Paul, that kind of promotion backing to get where she wants to?
She's going to have to work with him sooner or later.
That's
it's only a matter of time. If she wants the biggest fights on the biggest platforms that bring the biggest numbers, she's going to have to do business with Jake.
Well,
there's no doubt about it.
I look at Clarissa, and I'm not taking anything away from her. She's an amazing fighter, but the classes that she's representing, there's no one there, man. Honestly, in my opinion, she really doesn't have anyone to fight. Like, I mean, middleweight to heavyweight, it kind of reminds me of 1989 when women's boxing first merged with Christy Martin and Layla Ali. There really wasn't anyone to fight for the girls. You got to get down to about maybe 154 and down is where all the competition is. So do you think that she's losing out here with the lack of competition? Because everyone that they're putting up in front of her doesn't really have any elk or skill. No disrespect to those girls stepping into the ring. So what do you think she needs to do to kind of, get better competition? Does she need a promoter like that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you're saying. Like, there's really no big names in the divisions that she's been fighting in, but she did amazing at the what she started fighting at 160 roughly.
Yeah.
Like she conquered all those divisions, and then she moved up as it went on.
Yeah.
I know how those lower weight classes or middle weight classes are growing and they're getting much better. I think it's time for her to move back down again.
Do you think being up there for so long, and I ask you this question because, in terms of training, like for yourself, how much weight do you have to cut before a fight? Like when you go into a fight camp, you're fighting at 135. What do you walk around at?
I'm like 150, 155.
So you stay close to where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's never an easy cut.
Right.
It's all discipline and a lot of hard work. But yeah, a lot of people do much bigger cuts than that.
Okay. So my next question here is, because you are in the game, you do this. Do weight classes make a difference in boxing? Does that 3 pounds between this and this really make a difference, or is it more in the head of the fan, or you know what I mean?
It makes a big difference. Makes a big difference. 5 pounds is more than you'd think, and like I know just from sparring guys, at a weight class bigger or a weight class lighter, you notice the difference. Absolutely. If I'm fighting a 140 or 147, like there's a noticeably different like feeling to get hit by a guy, and even his punch resistance. They take punches a lot better being at a heavier weight. Yeah, I definitely think it's a big factor.
So just to clarify, going up in weight doesn't necessarily translate in more power. Is that right or wrong?
I mean, it all depends on your weight cut and how you hydrate. If you hydrated properly and
Sure.
this and that, right? I mean, if you're going into a fight weak because you didn't do things properly, that's one thing. But I think everyone's different. And that's kind of like an individual question.
Right on. Okay, no, fair play, fair play. Speaking of that, because this segues into what we have coming up, we're pretty. I call this the lull days of boxing in between. Get through the fall, the end of the summer, sort of a deal. So the big next one coming up, September 13th, Canelo versus Crawford. Talking about weight classes, Crawford doesn't have to cut weight; he's going up in weight. No, I'm not looking for a prediction or anything, but how do you see this fight, man? Where's your head on it?
It's an unbelievable fight. Um, I mean, Crawford typically he was he was doing big cuts to get down to 147, so he's naturally a bigger guy. And Canelo wasn't doing big cuts at all, to fight at 168 or 160. So I don't think there's that much of a size difference. However, Canelo's used to being in the ring with bigger guys, and Crawford's probably not.
Right.
And he's obviously proven that he could compete with anyone at
Sure.
160 to 175.
Sure. Sure.
So that being said, um, I don't know if that's going to play a factor in Crawford's game, just being the smaller guy. But skill wise, I mean, Crawford could obviously handle himself with anyone. So it's going to be a very interesting fight. I think the real fight will start after round 6, and that's when we'll kind of know, which way the fight's going.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So
The weight difference is going to really come to an effect.
it will come in effect now. As a boxer yourself, I asked this question because Crawford hasn't fought in a while, right? I mean, he's had a lot of time to prepare for this fight, gain his weight, get acclimated to the weight and terms like that. But until he actually gets in the ring and competes, I get training, it has its benefits, but how much of that actually translate to when you actually get into the ring? Like you can train and train and train, right? But take as many reps. But until you're actually out there competing, is that when we see if it works or not?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it has to do with mindset. The mindset you got going into it.
Now, do you think Crawford needs to start fast because he's notoriously known as the slow starter? And in my opinion, I feel that he's probably never felt power like Canelo's before, right? And most guys who get that body shot that first time, we saw that with Charlo, we saw that with his last fight. As soon as they take that body shot, they start running away. Do you think that's something that Crawford has to think about here?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think they're both slow starters naturally. Um, so I think if Crawford could take advantage of that and bank some early rounds, that'd be to his benefit. Although Canelo is one of those guys. Every round he steps it up a notch every round.
Right.
So if you're gonna try to bank early rounds, you don't want to exert yourself too much because the later it goes, the harder he's coming.
100%, 100%. So, not to put you on the spot, but I think we're close enough to fight time now. Who do you got? Who is Lucus Bahdi's pick for Canelo Crawford? If you're comfortable in sharing.
It's not about sharing; it's about deciding.
Yeah.
I think Crawford, but I don't know, man. I really love both fighters. I just think Crawford is a little more hungrier at the point of his career and the point of Canelo's career. Canelo doesn't have the hunger he used to, and I think that is going to play a major factor in this fight.
Okay, fair enough, man. Fair enough. So you see Crawford by decision, knockout, or you just saying Crawford?
I think it's going to be a decision. I don't think anyone's knocking anyone out here.
Okay.
They both got fantastic chins.
Yeah.
They're both in amazing shape.
Yeah.
They both have tons of experience.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a chess match. I think there's going to be some big punches landed, but they're both going to take them well.
Yeah, me personally, I think all the pressure. I'm going to make my prediction next week on our prediction show, so I'm not going to give too much away here. But when I look at it, I think more of the pressure is on Canelo because he's actually the one at the higher weight class. Where normally him going up is the one, like it would be the pressure on Bivol. It would have been the pressure on Kovalev because they're the heavier guys. So him being where he's supposed to be at home and Crawford coming up, I feel more of the pressures on him. So I think Canelo is taking this fight very seriously for the first time in a long time. But that being said, we'll make our predictions next week. All right, brother man. You know what? Thank you so much for taking the time and you're driving around town, man, and I really appreciate it. But Chance isn't here, and what Chance likes to do is play a game with the guests. So I asked him to send me these names. We call it the name game. I'm just going to shoot out these names, if you and just give us your instant reaction to them. Yeah, it's a combination of a little bit of everything. You ready?
So like one word or
Whatever you want to say, man. It can be a sentence, it can be a statement, just whatever comes to mind.
all right.
All right, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to play the name game with Lucas Bahdi. Lucas Bahdi, your first name, Arturo Gotti.
Warrior.
Warrior. Jean Pascal.
Jean Pascal,
Yeah,
a tremendous athlete.
fantastic. Alexander Usyk, dancing man
Usyk,
with the bad back.
he's the greatest of all time right now in my books.
Generational or of all time?
Definitely generational. Of all time, it's a really tough to say or really put someone in that category, but I think he's there.
Okay, and we just talked about this man, Canelo.
Canelo,
Hmm.
definitely the greatest Mexican of all time.
There you go. There you go. And finally, Terrence Crawford.
Terrence Crawford.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's one of the greatest. Uh, definitely I would say he's a top five. Top
Uh,
five. He got the killer instinct, and he's a phenomenal boxer.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely, and a really nice guy too. Got to meet him a couple times in Vegas. Super friendly, super. Obviously, there's 10,000 people who want to, get close to him when he's outside. But I have to say, he did give me a good 5 minutes of his time. So thank you, Terrence Crawford. You probably don't remember me, but you showed yourself to be a great human being. So thank you for that. Okay, so before we end here, not to put you on the spot, but brother, what is Lucas Bahdi's message to the world?
To the world,
To the world, man. If people are listening to you, Lucas Bahdi, and the world has your ear, or you have the world's ear, what would you tell the world, man? What's your advice to the world?
well, I want to inspire. I want to inspire. So everything has to do with mindset. Set your mind onto something. Think positive. Always be positive and be good to people around you.
That's beautiful, Lucas. All right. So let's squash some rumors here, man. I mean, let's do this first before anyone else, because I'm talking to you directly. When we talked at the end of the summer here, everyone was saying Schofield, Schofield, Schofield. So can you just shed some light on this situation? Give us a little something if you can. Is that the next fight for you? Is that what's going on?
I hope so. We're trying to make that happen.
Okay, because he is talking to people and saying that is pretty much done. So that's why I wanted to talk to you directly to see if he's jumping the gun or we're just asking too much here.
Yeah, I hope he's right. I hope he's right in that it almost is pretty much done.
Okay, fantastic.
I want the fight.
And if so, is this something that we're looking at against Tank's card, possibly on the undercard?
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
I don't think so, but I'm not 100% sure about it.
That's awesome. Lucas, again, thank you so much, brother. I really, really appreciate you taking the time to come and talk to me and share your life history, your ambition, your dreams. I think there's a lot that kids of our communities can take out of this. And if people want to come and train, do you guys have a gym? Is there a place that people can come and check you guys out, or is it more of a closed gym?
And West End Gym, and everybody's welcome.
The West End Gym.
West End Gym in Etobicoke. West End
Awesome.
Athletic Club, the best gym around.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, Lucas, thank you so much, brother man. Please drive safe. Keep your eyes on the road. Can't wait to see you fight again. And I can't wait to get you back on the show, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me, Bob. It was great to talk to you.
That's awesome, brother man. Next time, let's talk about some more stuff. And, we can talk about, maybe we can get you back on after the Canelo fight just to talk about it and, get your opinions on it.
Absolutely.
That'd be amazing, brother man. All right, bro. Take care of yourself. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Bobby Sampson. This is Lucas Bahdi, future world champion. Yes, yes, yes. I have so much more that I want to talk to him about, but we're going to save it for the next time because there will be a next time. Guys and gals, remember, just like Lucas said, without hard work, dedication, and believing in yourself, nothing matters. So forget the people who are telling you can't, because those who are telling you can are the ones that can and don't want anyone else to succeed. Bobby Sampson, Lucus Bahdi are out.